Hello and welcome. You're watching a very special program on Budget 2025. Will it be a magic bullet for the middle class? We will be discussing that. But during the course of last 1 week, we've been covering every aspect of the budget that should matter to you and me. Today, we will be discussing what is important to realize the vision for Viksit Bharat by 2047. And that is the infrastructure development, which must be a key focus area for India in the long run. Amid a lower than expected GDP growth rate, this fiscal infrastructure spending will drive the economic growth. That's the view of all the experts out there. Now, in the Union Budget 24-25, the government allocated a total of 11.11 trillion rupees or 11.1 lakh crore rupees to the sector and 11.1% growth year on year. However, challenges remain. The Economic Survey of 23-24 highlighted delays in infrastructure development due to land acquisition issues, limited private sector participation and insufficient focus on sustainability. In fact, according to government data, 63% of over 1,740 ongoing central government projects have exceeded their schedule and 25% have faced cost overruns. The upcoming budget should therefore focus on addressing these challenges. So, how does one really encourage private sector participation, timely completion and efficient utilization of money? We'll be discussing all of that. Joining us on the show is G Hari Babu, National President, NAREDCO. Also with us is Anurag Gupta, partner, Deloitte India. Let me first come to you, Anurag. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for taking time out. Anurag, a substantial allocation of 11 lakh crore rupees in the budget of 2024. And yet, 1 year down the line, I think one of the big problem areas has been the utilization of that budget. As of December of 2024, we just about managed to achieve about 54 to 60% of the budgetary allocation. What, according to you, should be the key thrust area for the budget of 2025, a greater capex allocation or perhaps the same allocation as last year but greater utilization?
Thank you, Shweta. Shweta, I think the low utilization this year is on expected lines. It has been an election year and there have been disruptions throughout because of the elections. So my wish list would be that this government has clearly stated and went all out, shifted all gears on infrastructure push. If we look at last 3-year budgets, the allocation has increased from 5 lakh crores to now north of 11 lakh crores. And I expect this momentum to continue. We are at 55 to 60% utilization this year, but I think we still have 3 months ahead of us. There are sectors which are moving faster than the last year. And this should be seen as a minor aberration and the overall journey and accelerated push should continue.
G Hari Babu, one of the conversations around infra is essentially got to do with real estate, and even this time around, I think there are a lot of expectations as far as affordable housing is concerned. Now, last year, the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana also saw a greater allocation of 10 lakh crore rupees for urban poor. However, I think one of the conversations in the past year has been the premiumization in market. Do you believe now it's time for government to perhaps pivot and also look at including middle class when it comes to housing for all? And how does really one encourage more affordable housing, because that's where the growth has been tepid?
Yeah. Shweta, thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Namaste to all the people. Basically, the Indian real estate industry as private sector, we are serving to the top notch of 15 to 20% people only. Remaining 80% of the people, urban poor, actually who are drawing the salaries around 70,000 under family together. Those people are not addressed properly. And for that only, this Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana has come to the picture 7 years back, 8 years back. Giving some incentives, about 2.7 lakh interest subvention, and for developers, ATIBA, and also 1% GST on registrations. And it started very well. It progress is very good. But suddenly, ATIBA is withdrawn after 3 years. And later, the interest subvention of 2.7 lakh also is withdrawn. No bank is coming forward and giving to these people. And in the meantime, COVID, and also after COVID, the prices of labor has increased, cost of material is increased, land costs have increased. The affordability houses to construct by the developer within the stipulated amount of 45 lakhs also has become very difficult. So for that reasons, the last 2 years, 23 and 24, the number of units sold in the affordable housing is much lesser compared to 21-22. This is almost a drop like 30 to 35%. It is really surprising. We thought no, these 45 lakhs under houses will be sold maximum, but picture is different. Today, most of the luxury segment is doing fantastic, whereas affordable housing is not doing good. The reason is very clear. That means the so-called affordable housing, the schemes what the government of India announced, is not suitable for the people who are drawing the salaries of 70,000-80,000 rupees max, both wife and husband. So they are unable to touch this segment.
Okay.
The reasons are, if somebody want to take around 35 lakhs loan, today it is costing 35,000 rupees as EMI. 35,000 rupees EMI, that means for their income, 50% is coming. So today nobody is interested to pay 50% of their income as EMI.
So are you therefore suggesting, from what I'm understanding, you're saying affordable housing is no more affordable after all?
It is not no more, practically is no more affordable because the interest rates have gone up to 9%, 8.75%. It is no more affordable.
All right, hold on to that thought. I would also like to get an answer from you as to what government should be doing to make it more affordable. But going back to you, Anurag, one of the conversations through the year has been the changing geopolitical dynamics in the world. The economic uncertainty, US President Donald Trump's tariff policies, and what does it really mean for India? And one conversation that's come up is that it means that India must gear up to be the manufacturing destination for the world in upcoming years to come. Now, that's only possible when we have enough manufacturing clusters, enough SEZs. In your assessment, has there been enough and more thrust when it comes to SEZs? Because we've seen introduction of few, but they've never really taken off. So that conversation around single window clearance, making India the global manufacturing destination, I think we're still a laggard there. And these are very early years, of course. So one may not want to give a report card to the government. But what, according to you, should be the priority areas for the government when it comes to building more clusters for development, manufacturing hubs?
Thank you, Shweta. So, Shweta, I agree with you. Some work has been done. A lot more work is needed in that domain. If we look at SEZs, I think there is a clear need to recalibrate the policy framework. The investments have actually slowed down once the tax benefits were taken away. And I think there is a need to revisit the policy framework to create a clear incentive package. See, we have to realize that there needs to be an incentive, a clear commercial incentive, financial incentive for companies to invest in these SEZs. Similarly, there have been new working models. Take the case of IT sector, services sector. The work from home is a reality now. And somehow the policy framework is not calibrated to accommodate for that. Similarly, making these SEZs relevant in domestic market, allowing them to receive payments in rupee while keeping the foreign currency requirement and the net forex requirement to be positive. I think these are some of the things which have been talked about. Government has acknowledged them in various forums, and I do expect something positive coming out from this sector or very soon.
Okay, what's your expectation?
Definitely revisiting the policy framework for sure.
Okay.
We have been hearing that government is working on legislations on that regard. I would not be able to comment on the timing of that legislation, but it will be as soon as possible. Earlier the better on that front.
All right, earlier the better. That is the expectation. I want to go back to you, G Hari Babu. I think every time we talk about real estate and infrastructure, we know that there are some clusters that happen to do better than others, and hence why it's very difficult for one person to be able to afford a real estate in these clusters. I think it's about time, and this has been the conversation for a while now, for average individuals, for people to go beyond these metro cities, these big clusters, to the nook and corners of the country, in order to ensure that affordable houses really remain affordable. And how does one do that? What, according to you, are big hurdles apart from hefty capital cost, the land acquisition issues that continue to be a big bummer today? What, according to you, is preventing real estate players from actually making small clusters of affordable homes beyond metro cities?
Yeah. Number one, government is having plenty of land in the urban areas. And most of the governments, they are selling by auction and increasing the prices. Whenever the auction is taking place in any city, that becomes a benchmark and the prices are fixed at that level. Government is not giving nowadays any land, in urban land, particularly to the affordable housing people. Second thing is, there are slums in their cities. There, some talk is there with Bombay, but otherwise, no other city is having that slum redevelopment program. Some redevelopment program has not taken place. Lot of land availability is there in the slum areas, and that can serve completely all the middle class people there. They can accommodate there. So that is also, that policy also not going very speed. When we are talking about 2047, Vikasit Bharat, then means we have only 23 years time. In 23 years, until unless we start today and start constructing at least 8 to 10 lakh homes per year, and next 20 years, we can say most of the affordable people are having a small place like 1.5 bedroom or 1 bedroom hall kitchen, or 2 bedroom, small 2 bedroom. So until unless we start immediately, either in the government lands or in the name of slum development. The third important thing is, for example, like Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, we are having unlimited FSI. In unlimited FSI, people are constructing almost like 1:8, 1:10.
Okay.
In this regard, instead of giving unlimited FSI and making the land lots richer and richer, government can put a cap of 1:4, which is very, very comfortable. And then balance FSI, they can sell at 2,000 rupees or 2,500 rupees, depends upon the market. And that money, whatever they get, almost I am estimating roughly 4,000 to 5,000 crores per annum in Hyderabad. That much money, you give a cross subsidy to the affordable housing.
Okay.
By just, I have 1 acre land and I can construct about 1:10. That means all the profits are gained only by individual. The entire infrastructure built by government of various state governments and central government, and the benefit is going to the landlords.
Right.
And each landlord is, without doing anything, also holding the land. They are sitting the land for 10 years. The land cost is appraising 50 crores, 70 crores, 100 crores per acre. And all that benefit is not given to the landlords. When you put the FSI limit, 100% you have to keep it 1:4. Balance FSI, you sell it for 2,500 rupees, and the money has to go to the affordable housing. These are three important things. One is government lands allocation. Second thing is slum redevelopment. Third one is cap on the FSI.
All right. Thank you for those suggestions. Anurag, I think when it comes to laggards and what's keeping infrastructure sector as a whole from reaching its potential in India, apart from land acquisition, another issue that continues to persist is the private sector participation. Now, of all the infrastructure developed so far, data says that government's share is substantial at 78%, which means private sector participation remains tepid despite all efforts. How does one revive it? How does one really get private sector to participate? We know, this is a complex sector and dividends don't come back easy, and you only realize some revenues in the long run, in long horizon. So there is no immediate benefit. But how does one really get private sector to start participating at this point?
So, Shweta, I completely agree. I think if we have to meet the realization of we have to meet the ambition of Viksit Bharat, the entire infrastructure push has to be created, and then the capacity has to be created in the next 10 years. And government cannot do it alone. Private sector has to complement the government in the funding this infrastructure. Now, I think we do have the right framework in place. What is required is going back to the drawing board. We have had mixed success in PPPs, especially in core infrastructure sector, for example, railways. So the need is to actually do more targeted initiatives, revive PPPs in a few sectors like railways, whereas strengthen them and augment them in sectors which are a bit more mature, for example, roads. So I would expect a bit more focus on BOT projects this year in road sector, and also adoption of the models like HAM as well as BOT, or the other variations in railways, especially on the areas like station redevelopments. The key here is to find the low-hanging fruits rather than and take small steps and then scale them up. So station redevelopment, wagon ownership, whether it is, and also building more freight corridors on PPPs. I think that will definitely be something I would like to focus on.
All right. Staying on with private sector participation, another infra-related sector that has seen, in fact, a lot of private sector participation is, your airways. So your airports is where private sector is very keen, has been, partnering with the government on various models to develop our airports and airport-related infrastructure. And I have to ask you, Anurag, are you happy with the way Udan scheme has really taken off, given that many of these, small airports are in tier 2, tier 3 cities, and there's not enough interest of airlines to really, participate and take a flight off these small towns and cities, because there's not enough passengers, there's not enough demand from these small cities. So in your assessment, should Udan scheme continue on its path? What's the way ahead as far as Udan related infra is concerned?
Oh, absolutely. I think if you look at Udan, that is definitely one of the success stories for this government. See, we have to realize that the demand and this demand for this air travel is equally there in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and in Viksit Bharat, tier 2 and tier 3 cities will actually drive and play their part along with tier 1 cities. In terms of Udan, there have been success stories, definitely. I believe that around Udan itself has added fair share, even if single digits, to the overall travel market in India, air travel market in India. Going forward, it's definitely critical and in fact required to connect these tier 2 cities on the grid. While we have seen mixed results, there are success stories. Take the case of Darbhanga, take the case of Jharsuguda. And I think the need is to recalibrate the policy framework, provide targeted incentives where it is not available, not affordable, or where it is not viable, and at the same time also scale it up in a targeted manner. We cannot do it away. There will be roadblocks like viability in some places, and I think government has anyways stated its clear and resolute commitment to provide financial incentive to airlines in those sectors.
All right.
On those routes.
All right, let me go back to G Hari Babu. I think a conversation around infra development in the country that started with 2014 when Narendra Modi first came to power was the Smart City mission. Now, G Hari Babu, there hasn't been a lot of success, has there been, when it comes to smart cities? Although we have seen a few clusters here and there, and government's thrust towards making some of these cities smarter, including Jaipur, my hometown, Dehradun. Unfortunately, that interest has waned away. How does really one bring back interest when it comes to smart city mission, or should government at this point focus on just building basic infrastructure in almost all tier 2, tier 3 city, and perhaps do away or keep your smart city ambitions at bay? You think there is a need to revisit the policy on smart city mission?
Yes. My view on this smart city and present urban population, we are now having about 38 crores urban population as of now. By 2047, we are expecting this population will go to 70 crores. Once it is going 70 crores, are we going to concentrate only on this 118 tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities? Or otherwise, we are going to build some other new cities? Today, if 74 kilometers of metro in Hyderabad is estimated cost of 24,300 crores. Just 74 kilometers. So 74 kilometers is costing 25,000 crores nearly. Hyderabad city, like the city, if you compare with the Korea, Seoul, we have to build at least 1,000 kilometers really to serve this 1 crore population, 1.1 crore population. Is that we have that much budget, 3 lakh crores for invest in the Korea and Hyderabad on metro? It is difficult. So today our cost to increase the population in the same city like Mumbai or Delhi or Calcutta or Chennai, same place is very much expensive. Same thing with 50,000 crores, one can think of a completely new city. There are beautiful highways are constructed nowadays, and these highways, some of the exits you can take as a new city and provide all the facilities there and with a lesser cost. See, 200 kilometers of metro, whatever this costing in Hyderabad, you can construct with the same 200 kilometers amount. You can construct a beautiful, what do you say, for 25 lakh population, you can construct a city. And you can provide all the infrastructure facilities, school, education, hospital, and also government offices shifting and IT industry, all those things. Why we are only focusing on the present existing cities only? We are spending lot of money on existing cities, and it is not serving the really to all the people. The moment today I add another 70 kilometers metro, my population by the time it implemented, it takes about 4 to 5 years. My population is increased by 10 lakhs. By another expansion, my population is increasing. So the same city with 1.1 crore today, the same city becomes by 2047 2.2 crore, 2.3 crore. The average speed of the vehicles will go down to as good as 8 to 9 kilometers per hour. And another thing is the pollution will be increasing. So we have a lot of place. We need not concentrate only on these existing cities. We can start developing the new cities. At least we need 100 new cities before 2047. Until unless you do that one, the 100 cities at least take minimum 20 lakh population. That means 20 crore population will go to the new cities, and the present 38 crores, and that is become 58. Maybe another 10, 12 crores here and there, then we can increase.
All right, fair enough.
Every one person, what we are spending on urban infrastructure, we can spend for 5 people in the new city.
Absolutely. I think I agree with that. Perhaps it's also time to relook at how we are developing these smart cities and what really constitutes a smart city, because, rather than facilitating people in the long run, a lot of people, the locals, are really bothered by, the sudden construction works that start happening in their neighborhood, and that really disrupts their life. There are traffic snarls, there are construction activities happening, and where life can run really smoothly with the existing infrastructure. Perhaps time to focus and identify other cities which can be brought at par with some of these tier 2, tier 3 cities. But before I let you go, gentlemen, Anurag, I want to come back to you for a last question, and that is, as the needs of India, its urban population, are also evolving, so are the needs for more physical as well as social infrastructure. In the last couple of months, one of the conversation has been, we need to have more concert halls, because there is interest of Gen Zs, the millennials, and a whole lot of other people who don't want to go abroad if they want their favorite singer, their performer and artist to perform in India. And I think the government must at this point in time also focus on this need, the need of a ballooning urban population that is not just hoping to live a better life, but also hoping to get entertained within the confines of this country.
Absolutely, and I think we definitely are one of the largest markets for whether it is Coldplays of the world or whether it is Jazzy Bs of the world. So definitely, I think Honorable Prime Minister also talked about concert economy yesterday. Demand is definitely there, but I think we have to look at it in a more integrated play manner. These concerts, whether it is having the right stadium, whether it is the right capacity and quality of hotels which are required, whether it is better management and better quality of services at the venues itself, we have realized that this is definitely sector where we can actually push forward. However, we have a long way to go, as we have seen from the experiences of recent sectors, and that's an action agenda more for state governments as well as the private sector. I think central government will play a role of an enabler, but the core players, the core stakeholders in this case will be the state governments and private sector to provide the right capacity as well as the quality of infrastructure to make these concerts a success.
All right. And that, of course, I think will bring a lot of cheer as far as the younger population in this country is concerned. If there are more Coldplays and more Diljit Dosanjh performances in India, and we're able to provide them with the right kind of infrastructure. But I think we'll have to leave it at that. G Hari Babu, Anurag Gupta, thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on the show. We are, of course, discussing what to expect from Budget 2025, which is tomorrow. We'll be live from 8 a.m. onward here on News9 to get you all the updates on the budget for a Viksit Bharat. Thank you very much for watching.
I believe there will be a support framework for this industry, and where a lot of the research and the innovation can happen within the domain of botanical ingredients, and to finalize the product out of it. And also the other important facet to come with the policies and schemes which supports the export transportation to reduce the subsidies, and also which is possible